Perfect. Okay, so thank you guys for joining me. I know that as we kind of start these trainings, it's new to everyone and people have super busy lives. What's a good time on the West Coast for me is not always good for the East Coast. So I'm going to try and switch up times just to see what works for everyone. But in the meantime, I will be recording them and sending them out the following day. So tonight's topic is recruiting, and I have 5 key points that I prepared that I'm going to share in the chat really quickly for you guys. And these are things that we're going to be talking about tonight. There you go. Okay, so the first one is how you share the kit. So whenever people come to me and they ask about recruiting, it's not going well for them, they're just not getting much interest, I always ask, how are you sharing the kit? Because a lot of people don't really know where to start with it, and if we go off of what home office provides to us, that's just a PDF flyer, right? So we think, okay, if I post this, anyone who is interested will let me know. They're going to see it and they're going to want to join. Or if I share this on my timeline, anyone who sees it and is interested will let me know. And so if we do that and we don't have anyone respond that they're interested, we feel like no one wants to join our team. So the way that you share the kit is super, super important. And it doesn't always have to be through an image. A lot of the times when you are sharing what you're doing in your business, what products you love, what your posh life looks like, that is sharing the opportunity. So how you share the kit is super, super important. And I want you guys to start thinking outside of a kit picture or a product picture and more of a broad image of what the kit really means in the business. The second part kind of goes with that, and it's how do you share your posh life? A lot of times people join us because they are watching what we're doing and seeing that we're having fun, seeing that we love the products, seeing that we have a whole network of women that work together with us, and that is something that they might be looking for. So it's really, really important that when you are talking about posh, you're always sharing what you love about it. You want to be really conscious of how you're representing the brand and how you're representing your business, whether it's a live video or a post. You want people to see what you're doing and think, I can do that too. Or, wow, she looks like she's having so much fun. I think I could fit into that group as well. And so everything that you share about posh is really part of recruiting because people are watching, and the more that they see you having fun, you meeting your goals, you loving a product, the wheels start spinning for them. Maybe I can do that. If she can do it, I can do it. Or it looks so simple from what she does. So be really, really conscious of how you are sharing your posh life. A lot of times when I'm doing something, like if I'm substitute teaching, I like to post a picture or something in my VIP group to say like, hey guys, I'm substitute teaching today, but I still was able to sneak in a little bit of posh work and I have my favorite product with me. And what that does is that's really my life. First of all, it's not anything that I'm making up or fabricating, but what it's doing is it's showing them like, oh, okay, well she obviously does posh full time, but she also does teach sometimes, and she's able to, do that she can do it together. So what that does is shows them that they have opportunity to fit it into their busy lives as well. So look for little opportunities like that. I also love when people do something like they take their family out to ice cream, and you can use the hashtag paid for by Posh, or you buy your kids a book at the book fair and you say paid for by Posh. That just shows how posh fits into your life, how your business is able to bring you things that you want in your life that you wouldn't maybe usually be able to do or fit into the budget. So really think about that, how sharing your posh life, I like to call it, is really a big part of recruiting. Okay, number 3 is talking to potential recruits. This is a big one, and I think it's where a lot of us get caught up. So I've talked to you guys before about this, and I have a video on YouTube about it, but my husband was a Marine Corps recruiter. And that's like the ultimate sales thing, right? We're not just getting someone to buy a $99 kit. We're getting them to sign up to be a part of the military. That's huge. Well, the Marine Corps has invested multi-million dollars into a sales, it's like a sales training, but it's very much customized to what they're doing. And in a lot of ways, it's really similar to what we're doing and just sales in general, because let me give you guys a little bit of background. So if someone is going to join the Marine Corps, they come into the office and they start talking to the recruiter, and the recruiter lays out, they call them benefit tags in front of them, and it says pride of belonging, physical fitness, traveling, all of these things that you can gain through the Marine Corps. And so the potential recruit picks out the ones that are most important to him and shows the recruiter. Well, what that does is it gives the recruiter an idea of what he should talk about to this potential recruit, because just like Posh, there's so much to say, right? I mean, if the recruiter wanted to tell him about all 12 benefit tags, they would be there all night. And 9 out of the 12 don't matter to the kid anyways, because maybe he's only there for pride of belonging. Maybe he only really wants to travel. Maybe he only is interested in a certain kind of job. And so if the recruiter spent all of this time talking about everything the Marine Corps could offer, it's a waste of time. And a lot of times if you start talking about everything and it's things that the person isn't even interested, they just tune out. So when it comes to what they are interested in, they're not even listening. So how that relates to Posh is, Posh fits into everyone's life differently. Some people join because they want to have a full-time income. Some people join because they want to be part of something bigger. They love the friendships. Some people see the opportunity to travel and earn trips. Some people just want a girls' night out. They want to be able to throw a party for their friend and drink wine and have something outside of their family life. And so there's all these different reasons that people join Posh. Now, when someone comes to us and says, I'm interested in joining, it is our natural reaction to just word vomit everything. Oh my gosh, well, I got to do this. I love that I get to do that. This is my favorite product. You can get instant commissions. You can do this. You can do that. And next thing you know, the person isn't responding to your messages. And it isn't that you said anything wrong. It's that you said everything right, and they were only interested in 2 of those things that you said. And so now they've kind of tuned out. So what you can do is before you actually start, so if I start a conversation with someone or maybe I see someone post, maybe I post something about my Posh life that I do and someone says, wow, it looks like you're always having so much fun. Some way, somehow I can begin a conversation with them like, oh my gosh, I know I have so much fun in my Posh business, and start talking to them kind of how it has fit into my life. As the conversation continues back and forth, you can kind of say, well, what do you like? What are you interested in the business? Like, do you think that you would want to make extra money, or do you think like the traveling looks fun? And you can kind of pull their answers out of them. And it's hard to, there's no script to do this because it has to be a relatable conversation between you and that person. No conversation is going to go the same for Posh, just like no conversation goes the same for a recruiter, because what one person is interested in, how it's going to fit into their life is very different from someone else's. So the biggest thing is to ask questions. And this all comes back to building relationships. You have to be willing to talk to them, to ask them questions, to share some of your personal information with them and kind of figure out what they're looking for. Once you know what they're looking for, like if someone says, you know, I'm really looking for a way to make extra money. You know, right there, that is their why. Maybe months down the road, their why is not going to be to make extra money because they find out that they're so connected to our group that they just love the sense of belonging. But when you're recruiting and when you're having that recruiting conversation, you're really going to want to focus on how can you make extra money? What's our commissions? What is the perks program? How do hostess rewards work? What can they earn in their first 60 days? That's all stuff that you're going to want to talk about. If someone is saying like, wow, it looks like you always have so much fun, the pictures of you and your friends at these events, or you just have so many Posh friends on Facebook now, you're going to want to talk about that. Yes, I have some, like we have this group that we can always go to. Everyone's so helpful. Or I just love being able to go to these events and meet new people. That's the kind of stuff that you're going to want to talk to that person. So the biggest thing is to ask questions, build the relationship, and find their why. Because until you actually know their why, you're just going to be spewing out all this information, and half of it is stuff that they're not interested in. So hopefully that helps. Number 4 is it is a numbers game. And I talked about this a little bit last week. I think on November 1st, I did the live that talked about how would your perspective change on recruiting if you knew for sure every single person was going to say yes. We would all be recruiting rock stars, right? Because if you called someone and you're like, hey, I think you would be awesome in our Posh business, this is why, and they were like, yes, sign me up, how much easier is it to call the next person versus if you called someone and they're like, yeah, I'm probably not right now. Then you're like, ugh, you don't want to call the next person, you're defeated. But it is a numbers game. If you can get over the fact that you are going to face no's and a lot of no's before you get to a yes, you are so much better off. And it's hard and it sucks. And I know the feeling that you get when you say no, because it feels like, even though it's just one person saying no, it feels like the whole world is telling you no. So if you can, the analogy that I used when I was talking about it is like racehorses, how they have the blinders on so that they can't see next to them. If you can just stay focused on what is ahead and the next person you're going to ask, and not worrying about the no's and not worrying about the naysayers and not worrying about the family member that's criticizing you for doing a direct sales business, you are going to get so much further. They say that 1 in every 10 people you ask to join your team will say yes. Looking at my numbers, that is pretty accurate. I've had months where I've sent out 20 recruiting packets, and through follow-up, you lose people. You have people who say, no, not right now. At the end, when I followed up with all of those people multiple times, 2 to 4 people out of that group have joined. So, and you don't have to be sending packets to people. This is people that you meet at events. These are people that you meet at parties. These are acquaintances. It's a numbers game. The more people you ask, the higher chance you have of getting recruits, and you just have to block out the no's. I know it's hard, but you can do it. So next time you hear a no, instead of, this is also another thing that they do in military recruiting, when you get a no, it's almost like you need to get on someone else right away instead of letting yourself sit and think and ponder on it. And you start thinking all these things, right? Like, are they saying no because they think I'm annoying? Are they saying no because they don't like the Posh products? Are they saying no because I didn't give them the right information? Instead of thinking of any of that and overthinking and going down this little rabbit hole of why they said no, move on and ask someone else. Get right on it and ask someone else. And if that person says no, make it your goal to ask another person and keep going, because you will eventually get a yes. And I want to remind you guys that a no does not mean never. A no means not right now. I've had people that I've asked to join that have been like, no, I'm just really not that interested. In fact, one of my recruits from last month, I'd been asking her for like a year. I think every first of the month I sent her the kit, and I was just like, I know you would be awesome. I know you want to do this. I know you want extra money. You can do it. And finally, she saw the kit and she's like, okay, I'm doing it. And she's already sold stuff. So a lot of it just has to be in their time for whatever reason. But if I would have stopped sending her the information or let it get it to my head that maybe she's annoyed at me asking, or is it too much? I just kept doing it because she didn't say stop asking me. She just said, no, not right now. So keep on asking. Don't stop asking, because that is when your recruiting will really die. Okay, and number 5, do not count anyone out. This is big. So whenever someone comes to me and they're like, I need help with recruiting, the first thing I always tell them is you need to make a list. You need to get out a pen and paper, and you need to start writing down every single person you know. And it should be long, because you're not counting anyone out. And it's funny because the first time that I did this, I sat there with my pen and paper, and it was like I knew no one. And it wasn't that I knew no one. It was that when I was thinking of these people, I would automatically be like, oh, no, she would not like it. Okay, no, this doesn't seem like her thing. Or, no, okay, she already does that. Don't count anyone out. You don't actually know where that person is in their, I mean, they probably haven't even thought of Posh at all. I mean, Posh is so ground floor right now that a lot of these people that you're writing down probably have not even considered it an option for them to join your team. So there is an acronym. It's called FRANK, and you can write this at the top of your page. So F stands for friends, R stands for relatives, A stands for acquaintances, N stands for neighbors, and then K stands for people you know through your kids. I always like to add pets, clubs, etc., etc. It's like everyone else. So you want to go through that list, and I would encourage you to get like 5 to 15 people under each one. The ideal list is 100 people long. And so when you make this list, there's different ways to go about it. The way that I have always done it is that I made my list and I picked people off right away. Say I want to contact 10 people. I picked my 10 people off of the list and I would contact them, and that's my starting point. And so the others, I would kind of just pay attention to on social media, family gatherings, sports events, and see how I could start talking about Posh to them. Have they commented on something? Have they asked me about what I'm doing? Are they in my VIP group? And so as I find commonalities with them, I offer them the opportunity in one way or another, and I can mark it on my list. There's actually a YouTube video that I've done on this as well. It's called the notebook method. And so what you do is you write your list at the beginning of the notebook, and then as you ask them, you move them to their own page. And so you can keep track of how you're talking to them. Are you going to follow up with them in a week? If so, you need to write it on the page, going to follow up with them in a week. What's their favorite product? Have they mentioned liking something that you like? So this is like your guide to recruiting. You have your notes in there. Some people like to do it. There's a new app called Maven. Some people like to keep track of all this in Maven. I am trying to transition everything to Maven, but I've been doing my notebook for so long. I'm a pen and paper kind of person, so it's taking a while. But the key is to just have some kind of method to keep track of who is on this list and how you have contacted them. And going through the list, do not count anyone out. Unless someone is like, no, I am not interested, don't ask me again, no thank you, then you can cross them off. But until they actually say that, they are a recruiting opportunity for you. So those are the 5. How you share the kit, how you share your Posh life, talking to potential recruits and finding their why, numbers game, and do not count anyone out. So if anyone has questions, I'm going to try and keep it to 30 minutes because otherwise the file will be so big I won't be able to email it out to people. So if you have questions, you can unmute yourself in the corner, whether you're on your phone or a computer. It should just be like a little microphone, and you can click it to unmute. And you guys can ask me anything that you want. You can type it in the chat if you have questions. Another question that I wanted to ask you guys is, what would you like future trainings to be about? So I started with the recruiting because I feel like we cannot talk about it enough. But the rest of the month, I'm kind of open to doing things that you guys want. So if you have questions about parties, if you have questions about events, any kind of topic like that, I am more than happy to talk about. So you don't have to say it now, but if you think of it after we get off, feel free to send me a message with a topic that you would like me to talk about in future trainings. Any questions? Come on, give me a hard one. No? It kind of looks frozen. Let's see. If anyone needs help unmuting, let me know and I can unmute you. Oh, I see. Hi, Dana.
Hey, I guess I have a question about how to get involvement in my group.
Okay, is it a VIP page?
Yes.
Okay, so the VIP page, it is hard. I feel you on that. My VIP page goes, it's like a roller coaster. You have a lot of it, and then it goes down, and then you have a lot, and then it goes down. And that's two different things. One, it is Facebook algorithms. They're changing the way that people see groups. And so that affects the involvement in your group. The second thing is just being really, really consistent in it. You have to post in there every single day. And you'll see in your groups that when you go to do a post, if you create the post, when you go to click post, there's a little clock next to it so you can schedule posts. So what I've been doing is I have been going into my VIP page every Sunday and scheduling a post for every day that week, just so I know it's done. And I don't always do it at the same time. So I'll do like an 8 a.m. post on Monday, and then like a 1 p.m. post on Tuesday, and then a 5 p.m. post on Wednesday. So I'm reaching people at different times. And then the other thing that's been really good for mine is to include things that aren't always Posh related. So like today, I put a little image that said vote. And I said, post a picture of yourself with your voting sticker below, and you'll be entered to win a sample pack or a lip balm, or I can't even remember what I said, but it's just a small little prize. And so what that does is when these people are posting their picture, it's showing Facebook that they're interested in your group. And so they are going to bump your group posts higher in their newsfeed for them to see. So that is my best advice for that. Try it for a few weeks. The other thing with it is that you have to be so consistent. So you need to do it for a week.
Hang on just
like
a second.
3 or 4 weeks in a row.
Sure.
So I hope that helps. Try those few things and then let me know how it goes. All right, anyone else have questions? Any other questions about anything at all? It doesn't have to be about recruiting. Okay, I'm not getting any party interest since every company does online parties. People are losing interest. Totally normal, Amanda. People overdo parties and they don't do them in the right way. They just open an event and start posting all this stuff, and so people lose interest in parties. So what you need to do is find just 1 or 2 hostesses and just say, hey, let's get your party going. We're not going to do it like other parties where it's just tons of posts. I want you and I to work together to make this a super fun, interactive party where we are actually sharing products live. We're doing selfies. We're sharing images of us using the products and not just Posh-made graphics. And the other thing is to send messages to people and say that you're inviting them. Don't do a mass invite. Don't invite 300 people to a party. You will get better results if you and your hostess go through a list and pick 25 people to personally invite to a party versus inviting a whole friends list. So that's the one thing that I have changed in my parties is that I used to just be like, okay, you're hosting a party, great. Let me set up the link. I have all these posts that are going to auto post. I'm barely even paying attention. You just invite your whole friends list and this is going to be great. And in the beginning it worked, right? Because not everyone was doing parties. A lot of people hadn't heard of Posh. But as I started doing that over and over, it just becomes redundant. And people who have been invited to parties before kind of see like, okay, that's the same thing that she did last time. So what we have to do is just put a little bit of a twist on it and say, this is a super exclusive party. We're only inviting 25 people. You're going to message them individually and say, hey, this is what I'm inviting you to. There's going to be opportunities to win little prizes. You're going to get to learn about skincare, and you're going to get to hear what, like your hostess would say this, what I love about the products and what I think you would really love too. So try that, doing the personal invites, and the more personal approach to the posts in there, and then see how that goes and let me know. Jana says, what do you say when you follow up with people after sending samples, and how long after receiving them do you reach out? I had the worst party, no orders and participation. Okay, so anyone who you send samples to, whenever I send the sample pack out, I always say, I will send them a message and say, hey, just want to let you know your samples are on the way. They should be there in just a few days. And I will follow up with you then to make sure you got them. When they get them, because I'll keep track of the tracking, I'll say, hey, I saw you got your samples yesterday. I'm super excited for you to try them. I hope you're able to take some time for yourself tonight and try out my favorite face mask or try this hand cream or whatever I sent. And so what that does is that gives them an expectation of when you're going to be contacting them. They knew I was going to contact them when they got the samples. So then I've contacted them when they got the samples. And if they say, oh, I haven't had time to try them, or, oh, yeah, I just got it out of my mailbox, or whatever they respond with, I then say, okay, cool, I'm going to follow up with you in like 2 days to see how you like everything. So then I know 2 days, they know 2 days, and I would follow up again. What you do is once you have followed up with them in those 2 days, you always want to ask open-ended questions like, oh, which product was your favorite? You don't just want to say like, oh, did you like the hand cream? Because then they'll be like, yeah, I liked it. And then you don't know where to go from there. So what you would want to do is you want to be like, okay, out of the few products I sent you, which one was your favorite? And then say she says BFF, be like, oh my gosh, I love that one too. If you like that one, I bet you would really love it paired with our Moisture 911. It has helped my skin so much. And those two products are part of our core product line, so we know they're going to be around a while. Something like that to get the information going. So you always want to do open-ended questions. And then when it comes to ordering, it kind of depends how the conversation's going. But if it's a party and that's when you're trying to get them to order, I will message them and just be like, hey, just want to let you know the party's going to be closing in 2 days. If you need help placing your order, let me know. I always give that option because people are busy and sometimes lazy and sometimes just want it done for them. And so I'll say, hey, if you are super busy and you want me to place the order for you, I can totally do that. I'll send you an invoice and I'll get your order done online. And so that can kind of push them along as well. So you just want to ask open-ended questions and put a time on everything so that they know what to expect. And it's totally normal. It's totally normal to have parties that bomb. I would say 50% is really what it does. If you start doing the more personalized parties, if you start doing the invitations where you're showing them like this is what the party is going to be about, it does get better for sure. And the other thing is to have your hostess be really involved. If your hostess is counting on you to do all the work, it's not going to work because her friends don't know you and trust you like they know her. They're going to take her word over yours. And that's really the whole reason that there are hostess rewards is because we're rewarding them for doing some of the work. So I always make that clear with my hostess in the very beginning. And I'll just straight up tell them, I'll be like, your friends like you more than they like me. They don't know me from another girl on the street. They're going to see me as a salesperson who says I like all of these products. So you have to help me. You have to show pictures. You have to go live. And you're going to get a lot more free stuff by doing that. And usually they do. So let me know how that goes. Adrian says, in regards to recruiting, any tips on getting people who are interested to make the jump? I get people that are interested, but then it takes months or longer. I know that is okay, that's the case, but is there something you say to help? Honestly, just keep with it. Because a lot of times when you've given them all the information, when you've had the conversation, kind of like I was talking about my recruit from last month, it just has to be on their time. There could be something that's holding them back that they're not telling you. Maybe it's a money thing. Maybe their spouse is kind of like unsure about it. And so I always just stay on top of it. Every first of the month I'll message them and be like, hey, I know we've talked about this before, but this is our new kit. I still think you would be awesome. It's a holiday season. You would be able to make money for, Christmas or whatever it may be. So you just have to stay on it. I wish that there was a better reason. If you don't know their why of why they might be interested, try and find that out. Ask more questions to them and see where that can go, because you might not have touched on something that really speaks to them yet. And so try that. Melissa. Oh, you're welcome. So this is actually really exciting for me. Thank you, Melissa. I've been wanting to do these trainings for a long time, and for a while I was just like, no one's going to join them, or I'll be doing them and no one else is going to come. But I am just excited to do them, whether it's 5 people that show up or 10 people. Those are the people who I see who want to grow their business and work it. And so any time that I can give to you guys for any sort of training is worth it if you guys are interested in it. So it's counting down like the time that we have left on the meeting. It says 7 minutes. So any more questions, let me know. And then start thinking about what you guys want for future trainings. What topics you think would be good. I'm open to any topics at all. So if there are no more questions, we can wrap it up. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but thank you guys all for coming and for asking questions and being involved. It always shows me that you guys are interested in your business and dedicated, and those are the people that always end up promoting and moving ahead. So if you guys think of questions, please feel free to message me, post them on the page. I am always open to helping, giving feedback, bouncing ideas off of each other, and helping us do our very best. So I hope you guys all have a great evening. I'm going to stop the recording now.